What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. I like being right in this career, but I really hate being right in this career a lot of the time because there are horrible consequences to it. We've been warning about our open, porous border and all of the horrible people on Earth that wish to hurt our country. And well, now we are seeing explosions at our border as cars are blowing up. A vehicle from Canada just blew up at a northern border crossing. This is a crossing called the Rainbow Bridge from Canada to the United States of America. This car was traveling from Canada into the United States of America and exploded and caused horrible damage. Might have killed some people. We're waiting to see. Check this footage out. This is the first footage that went viral around the internet. You can hear the sirens blaring, and you can see the smoke rising, and you can see, obviously, chaos, debris, and people wondering,
yo,
what the
call
hell
Steve, tell him to come back.
Just went on. And what did just go on, now we know from inside of the crossing station, was a vehicle entering the United States of America from a foreign nation, Canada, exploded. This is the New York-Canada border. This is near Niagara Falls. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what the explosion looked like. This is the aftermath. We now have this footage taken seemingly by a passenger that was close. You can see horrible devastation. The lights blown out, a car completely ripped to shreds, an entire station there at Border Patrol has been demolished. Look at this. Look at that. An entire Border Patrol checkpoint has been demolished. This is an attack on America. I mean, it's a little premature, but like, cars don't just do this. You can see here, like, the massive, massive explosion, and of course, was somebody in there? Goodness gracious, there's gonna be this is gonna be terrible incident, and the fact that it happened at a border crossing makes it all the more suspicious and dangerous. Vehicle entering U.S. from Canada explodes near the Rainbow Bridge, Niagara Falls. FBI Terrorism Task Force activated as all 4 land border crossings are closed, except for our open border, which wasn't closed. Explosion came from a car trying to enter the U.S. All 4 land crossings between the two countries have now been closed. The FBI in Buffalo is investigating. Unclear if there are any injuries. Well, I mean, there has to be. Look at some of the images from this photo. You can see, of course, the smoke billowing and the debris everywhere. This is a breaking story. This has happened just moments ago. Here's some of the local news footage.
This video sent into our newsroom from a viewer. You can see heavy smoke and firefighters on the scene there. We've also heard reports there was some kind of explosion. Now, again, this is a developing breaking news story.
So you can see, again, this is like amateur footage taken, filmed vertically on a cell phone. You can see the smoke, the smoldering, the devastation, and the black smoke of an exploded vehicle. Fox News is covering this.
This is just coming in. We're trying to make sense of what's going on here. There was some sort of explosion at the Rainbow Bridge, which connects Niagara Falls, Canada, with the American side of the Niagara River. We don't know what the source of this explosion was, whether it was a vehicle or not. I've seen some pictures on the ground that show a lot of twisted metal, a lot of smoke and fire as well. But again, this is a crossing between Canada and the United States. And it's a popular crossing as well because it's very scenic. You can see Niagara Falls.
So what isn't scenic is now the new breaking footage coming out of this. You can see the flames.
Is somebody trying to put it out, or?
I don't know.
The black flames and billows rising. And of course, everything has been evacuated now. So what do we know? Well, of course, we know that our borders are not secure. We know there are a lot of people who hate this country, and they want to come into this country. And now somebody who was entering this country from a foreign country, their vehicle just exploded, and we don't know if there are any, we have no idea if there are any casualties. This is how ABC News says the FBI is at the scene. And now the entire bridge has been closed. All bridges have been closed. New York Governor Kathy Hochul says, at my direction, the New York State Police are actively working with the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force at every point of entry. Kathy Hochul will happily quarantine you if given the opportunity. She is an evil witch. Buffalo's statement on investigation on Rainbow Bridge. The FBI Buffalo field office is investigating a vehicle explosion. This is from the FBI. The FBI is coordinating with local, state, and federal enforcement as the situation is very fluid. That's all we can say at this time. And, of course, Kathy Hochul has made this statement. So the vehicle explosion is what caused this. And, again, you saw how a toll booth, or, the entry point, checkpoint, has been blown to smithereens. Completely blown to smithereens. Now, predictive programming, man. Less than 24 hours ago, on November 21st, 2023, at 8:16 p.m., CBS Evening News sent out an alert that there would be a terror attack in New York. Wow. Check this out.
Jerika, CBS News has obtained a security alert suggesting an increasing terrorist threat to New York State. The New York State Intelligence Bulletin points to Israeli operations against Hamas, and specifically that the increase in civilian casualties raises the likelihood that violent extremist threat actors will seek to conduct attacks against targets in the West, with New York State being a focus. The alert says possible targets include protests and other public events. Police in New York maintaining a highly visible security presence around potential targets like synagogues. And while there's no specific or credible threat, security for this week's Thanksgiving Day parade is at a high level with the full deployment of thousands of New York City police officers. The intelligence bulletin emphasizes that anti-Palestinian chatter has also been observed on multiple social media channels, with pro-Israeli advocates calling for violence against Palestinians and those who support them. The greatest threat comes from lone actors who take inspiration from violent rhetoric, much of it online. Today, New York's governor called on social media companies to take an aggressive approach to shut them down. Jerika.
Catherine Herridge, thank you for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do these recordings and I monitor the news while we are doing the recordings, and this happens rarely, but does happen in news events. There's breaking news that's happening literally this second. So just to show you how quickly we try and be on top of these stories and accurately, Fox News is saying that this was a car bomb. This broke seconds ago. Fox News is stating that this was a car bomb, meaning this was an act of terrorism. This is, of course, the source. New York explosion is a terrorist attack. So this is the Rainbow Bridge. This is Niagara Falls. This is a very famous location, obviously. A lot of people go there, a lot of tourists. And Fox News is saying this is confirmed a terrorist attack. So that's happening. That happened live. This was sent a second ago. So this massive explosion is now being considered a terrorist attack. Now, it would have been really interesting if our FBI had focused on, I don't know, actual terrorists instead of supporters of Donald Trump, or potentially our FBI could have focused on Joe Biden, right? And prevented him from opening the border or even becoming president, because Joe Biden is an absolute criminal. But instead, Christopher Wray is sitting here saying there's no question we're seeing an increase in reported threats, especially lone actors who take inspiration from recent events to commit violence of their own. Christopher Wray said this just 3 weeks ago. Maybe it's time to stop pretending like Trump supporters are the biggest threat, as a terrorist attack happened right now on our northern border with Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a breaking story. Like, share, and subscribe to keep up with the news. We will stay on top of this. Breaking news during the recording, and a very, very monster situation right now. These kind of acts are monstrous. We pray for anyone who may have been hurt or wounded. And again, we'll have updates for you. Bad politicians and bad policies have bad consequences. Time to get right as a nation. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See you.